someone's done some YouTube research for me. I found out something fascinating.
Okay.
Apparently, 100% of the people who subscribe to this channel wake up the next day 78.4% better looking and more intelligent.
Ooh, better looking as well?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Have
Have I subscribed to the channel yet? Oh, no wonder. Yeah, I know. No wonder. Like, I'm going to subscribe tonight and just
You
look
haven't-
at me tomorrow in front of the camera.
Hello, I'm Melinda Farrell, this is Bharat Sundaresan, and we're here for your nominations for the good, the bad and the ridiculous from day 3 of the third test. We do look ridiculous today.
Yeah, we
ridiculously
don't count
good.
as ridiculous. Yeah.
No, we look ridiculously good. All for the Gray McGrath Foundation, the pink test. Go check it out online. Now, Corey Webster nominates ridiculous and good Hazelwood run out. Gosh, we've had some rather good fielding in this test, haven't we?
But, Ravindra Jadeja, you expect him to pull off something incredible. Josh Hazelwood, big fast bowler in the middle of a spell, just it takes a long while for him to get down. But he not just get down, he collected the ball and in one motion knocked the stumps down.
Airborne Jonty Rhodes style.
Exactly. Bavuma, John T. Rhodes, all of them put together. And I think he bettered Pat Cummins' effort from 2 years ago, is what I think.
When Pat Cummins ran out Pujara.
Exactly, yeah. Hazelwood's came from nowhere. It was just, you don't expect a big loopy fast bowler like him to pull something off.
Well, the thing is, then people were having a bit of an argument, I think, about which was better, Jadeja's or Hazelwood. Man, they were both brilliant in completely different ways. Let's just enjoy everything that's there. It really, really good. At Just Me, Bunch of Numbers nominates good, 1 run out, bad, 2 run outs, ridiculous, 3 run outs, and K. Mooson 1 nominates regarding the run outs. I reckon Bumrah's good, Ashwin's bad, Vihari's ridiculous. What do you think? Making of all of that run out shenanigans.
Ashwin's was strange. There was no misunderstanding. It wasn't an extraordinary fielding effort. It was just a normal single. I don't know how he ran himself out there. I think maybe some ball watching, but it's not like he hesitated at all. It looked like a normal customary single. The ball was slightly to the right of mid-off Pat Cummins. But it was almost like Ashwin wanted Pat Cummins to not feel too bad about the fact that everybody's talking about Hazelwood's run out. That's the only explanation I can come up with.
It was a bit of a Sunday afternoon jog, wasn't it? Maybe Jadeja's just too quick for his own good, or for his teammates' good, because he's so quick between wickets. He is involved in, a few run-outs, and, going back for the second one with Bumrah, trying to farm the strike. Okay, that can happen. But generally, maybe he's just too quick. He's too good. He's too fleet-footed.
You should just run for both guys. I think that is the only solution. Maybe once for every 1 wicket there has to be that option. You have so many things happening in the BBL. What is it? Power surge, or what is that substitute thing? Whatever it is.
The power X factor surge.
The X factor surge. Yeah. So we should have one for 1 wicket. Jadeja can run for both batsmen.
You shut up. They'll probably do that if they hear you say it. At Gaurav Nandan TR1 nominates ridiculously good the relentlessness and accuracy of the Aussie pace attack, especially Cummins. He has bowled like 10 bad balls in this whole series. Unimaginably great. I've got to pull you up there. I think he's actually only bowled 9 bad balls, so come on, get your stats right. We said right at the start of this test, didn't we, that he was the bowler who could make stuff happen when there wasn't really much happening. And the thing that must be so hard about playing him is not only is he so quick, but he bowls such a good line that he can get you on it. You can't afford to leave him on length, especially if the pitch has got a bit of variable bounce as well. That makes it harder too, I think. So he's just, what do you do?
You can't do much, really, because he's going to do what he does every time. It really is a question of, are you good enough or are you not? And most often, most batsmen are not good enough and they get out. Pujara, great batsman, of course, but that ball, what do you do? What do you do? There's not much you could have done. And I can just doff your hat and say, well, Mr. Cummins, not only do you have the prettiest eyes in cricket, you also bowl the prettiest balls.
At Am Quick suggests bad. Tim Paine's rapport with the third umpire. He has been grumpy since being given out in the last game. It's not really the third umpire he's maybe having the bad rapport with, but He has seemed a little bit grumpy since the last game, since his wicket was giving out, and clearly there was some frustration boiling over there in what he sees as being some inconsistency.
Yeah, I think who he was losing his school with was Paul Wilson, Blocker Wilson, the umpire, on-field umpire. And all I kept thinking was, I'm sure what was going through Paul Wilson's head is, I wish this was happening 20 years ago. I would have bounced the hell out of you. He's a big fast bowler. And you have this wicket keeper standing up to you and saying stuff to you. He might be an umpire now, but a fast bowler is always a fast bowler. Tonight, when he goes back, has a quiet drink, all he's thinking of is bounced him.
Gaurav's got another one.
Ooh,
I didn't realise. Well done, Gaurav.
Gaurav.
Yeah. Bad. India dead batting themselves into a corner with their slow run rate, which put immense pressure to score later, resulting in wickets. Gaurav, come on. I mean, have you ever seen Pujara bat since basically he started batting? I mean, what about a couple of years ago? He basically won them the series by batting just like that. At that point, India were 2 down. They got a vulnerable tail. They're a long way behind. Australia's bowlers were fresh. And you've really got to also say, on a day when you have had 3 run-outs, that's probably not really the biggest problem as the way that Pujara bats. But one day I do hope that he comes out and goes absolutely berserk like the Hulk and Nicholas Puran style just goes off, because I swear it would break Twitter.
That would be his last test innings, of course. He'll go out with a bang. Yeah. But, make 100 of 40 balls. What if he breaks the record for the fastest 100 in his final innings and then retires? That would be amazing. You never know. Never say never. But Pujara, well, you can... It depends on which side of the Pujara fence you sit. There are those who believe that, he just blocks his way too much, he doesn't even rotate the strike. And then there are the others like Mel who believe, that's Pujara's game. I'm somewhere in the middle because I believe Australia have bowled exceptionally well to him. They've planned really well to him. Just look at the fields. Like what India have done to Steve Smith is what Australia have done to Cheteshwar Pujara, which is basically close the tap. They blocked the singles. And that's why it feels like he is getting stuck a lot more than he generally does.
As viewers, we tend to have a shorter attention span and be less patient when it comes to Test cricket. That's just the modern way.
It's just day 3. I mean, he could have blocked his way, if you call it blocking, for another day and put India in a very strong position. We still have 2 full days to go. It's just that, like me, everybody's forgotten that day 5 is actually a test day and not laundry days. But, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. Test match is just...
It's your fault. At Dharmic nominates as bad number of injuries that Pat Cummins has caused to opposition batsmen over his career. It's funny, I went back and read a piece that I wrote on him a year ago, and I think it was the 2 years prior to that, the only bowler who had hit more batsmen in international cricket was Jofra Archer, which is pretty amazing. And I will have to go back and check that now, because I reckon Pat Cummins might have actually overtaken him.
He might have, and I was telling you off air that I remember speaking to one of his coaches a few years ago, and he told me the story where how Pat Cummins would hit a lot of kids even as when he was playing junior cricket, and one mother actually coming up to the coach and saying, can you make sure that Patrick doesn't hit my son today? And Patrick Cummins is such a lovely guy. Apparently he felt quite embarrassed that it took another child's mother to come and not complain but kind of request him not to bowl a bouncer. He did bowl a bouncer, of course. Thankfully nobody got hit, unlike today where he hit people. And technical reason, I believe, is if you just compare Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood, I remember writing about this last year during the Ashes, it's just the release points. They're pretty much the same height, which is kind of strange. Josh Hazlewood is just 1 inch taller. But with Hazlewood, because the release is there, you kind of get a better view of everything. With Pat Cummins, because the release point is there, it kind of you kind of lose sight. And I've spoken to a couple of New South Wales batsmen who face him in the nets, and they talk about the same thing, about being rushed and just like getting... It's kind of similar to Bumrah because it's not in terms of action, but it's basically just the ball jumping off a length where you just don't expect it to. There you go.
The answers are all here. Siddharthi88 nominates, how good has India's bench strength been? It is ridiculous how badly they've been needed on this tour. That has been a common theme of this tour. Even before the tour started, there were injuries, and they have followed them throughout this tour. We've talked about how many of them have gone home. Overall, their bench strength, I think even for fast bowling, has been something that you could take as a positive for India out of this tour generally.
Yeah, definitely. This is your sixth and seventh bowling option
Yeah.
or fast bowling option, the ones that they picked here to play alongside Jasprit Bumrah. So the bench strength, they just keep getting knocked down. They keep coming up with new guys, and Natarajan hasn't played. Bharat Sundaresan hasn't played yet. So yeah, the bench strength is just very, very strong. Not just in the dugout, but everywhere around Indian cricket. Who knows? The rate at which they're falling, they might have no other option, and Mel knows all about my bowling action, and so do some members of the Indian team.
No, I was going to say, you know what will happen if our left arm friend bowls? I'm
Or
gonna
the other one. Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to sit there. You know what I'm going to say?
Natarajan!
No, almost. Ball ya Natarajan. Ah,
There you go. But
Ah.
the only thing, Mel, he's Tamil. All year doesn't work. Ball macha.
you keep changing the rules.
South, north. Simple.
Anna Forsyth nominates, I'm calling this good, Tim Payne having Steve Smith carry his helmet between overs is the ultimate power move. Fair?
That's a very fair call. I think that's very, very, everybody, all this talk of, should Steve Smith be captain? Tim
Yeah.
Payne's a temporary captain. Well, Stephen, Smudger, I'm the captain now. Pick up the helmet, pick up that helmet as well. And maybe also another reason he does that is maybe that's the only time Steve Smith stops doing this and stops thinking and talking about batting. So,
Either way, it's a good power move. What is your goodest thing for the day?
Josh Hazelwood run out. I don't think you can look beyond it. It was just extraordinary for a tall, fast bowler to pull that off.
Baddest thing for the day?
Tim Payne losing his cool with Paul Wilson. Come on, Bruce Oxenford made it very clear why they looked for that offside hot spots. Come on, Tim, come on.
And ridiculousest thing of the day?
This is where I come with my own entry, and Mel is not going to appreciate this, but this happened, and it was unfortunate. Poor Rishabh Pant had been hit on the elbow, but he recovered enough to play elbow to bat. Just before he gets out, what happens? You all remember what happened on day one. He dropped 2 catches, didn't he?
I don't remember that.
Oh, yes, of course you don't. They do. So the physio runs out with a pill. It looked like a painkiller. Rishabh gives it to Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant lifts his helmet, pops it, hoping that it goes straight into his mouth. But the way things have gone for poor Rishabh Pant in this match especially, it doesn't. It drops to the floor. It drops. He drops it. And then the physio had to pick it up and give it to him. So, sorry Rishabh Pant. That, for me, is the winner for the ridiculous.
Hope you sanitised it first. All right, I'll let you have that one. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow. Now, I'm going to get you carry my hat, please.
Tim Payne.